Thank you, Diane. Hello, Unity of Walnut Creek. Hello, hello. Welcome. So good to see all of you. How are you doing on the live stream? Are you live streaming? Be love. See love. If you want to be love, you got to see love. If you want to see love, you got to be love. If you want to be love, you got to see love. If you want to see love, you got to be love. There ain't no other way. Yeah, there ain't no other way. Hey, there ain't no other way. Yeah, there ain't no other way. Hey, so say that means God. Be love. See love. Be love. See love. If you want to be love, you got to see love. If you want to see love, you got to be love. If you want to be love, you got to see love. If you want to see love, you got to be love. There ain't no other way. Yeah, there ain't no other way. Hey, there ain't no other way. Yeah, there ain't no other way. Hey, be love. See love. Be love. See love. You want to be love. See love. One more time now. Be love. See love. Be love.
Good morning. Thank you so much for that music. It was beautiful and a good way to get started today. My name is Linda Stevens. Welcome to our service.
My name is Dana Schmidt, and also welcome to our service.
We want to greet and bless everyone who's watching online with us today. Your presence adds to our spiritual community. Yes, turn around, guys, and wave at them. Sometimes they can actually see you. We're so grateful that you're here with us today. And I want to thank Dana, because this is her first time being up here. And we hope it's a long and lasting, what do you call this? Partnership. Absolutely.
There you go.
Yes, there we go. There we go. Please join me in welcoming our favorite musicians, Lisa and Zoe, joined by Tyler. On keyboards, Dusty on bass, and Lariah on drums. Lisa is our song leader today, and thank you, Diane, for the beautiful prelude earlier. We appreciate that so much.
Reverend Kristen will deliver today's message titled Saint Honesty.
And before we begin, I'm going to invite you to turn off your cell phones, or at least put them on silent. Mine always rings on silent, so that's why I say please turn yours off. It really does help us enjoy this sacred time together.
Let's take a moment to be grateful for the land our center rests upon, the Bay Miwok and Ohlone land.
We honor the Bay Miwok and Ohlone people of today and are grateful for those who steward this land before us. We commit to taking care of these sacred grounds and Mother Earth.
Unity is a positive path for spiritual growth. And our vision, let's say this together, we envision a spiritually awakened world where all life thrives in conscious oneness.
Our mission is who we've come here to be. And let's say this together. We are a loving, inclusive community, expanding and living our divinity in sacred service for all. Our core values are love, connection, service, and wisdom.
If you're with us for the first time, welcome, and we are so pleased to have you here. And if you feel comfortable in doing so, please raise your hand so we can give you a welcome packet. In addition to the information about Unity in this packet, it will include a $10 coupon, which you can use to attend classes or other events at Unity. Well, it looks like we don't have anybody new today, but...
There's one.
Sorry. Thank you. Welcome, and we're so glad to have you with us.
We invite you to visit our Welcome Center Bookstore Cafe across the patio after the service to receive a welcome gift, and we hope that you'll choose to stay and let us visit with you after service. Connection cards are available in the newcomer packet as well as in the seat pockets in front of you. These are for everyone. With this card, you may submit a prayer request, and our prayer team will be praying with you throughout the week.
You may also share feedback or request information. Please place your card in the basket with the offering. For those of you viewing online, connection cards are on the Watch Live page of our website. We have several activities to highlight this week. Reverend Kristen was going to speak about one.
Yeah, I want to introduce a very special guest. Did she step out? There she is. I don't know why I thought you were over there. Catherine Ramadi and her friend Priscilla are here today to share a workshop. Some of you recognize Catherine. She was an integral part of our community for a long time and moved to Los Angeles like 2 years ago. And she's a meditation teacher, wrote a book called Befriend Yourself, which she honored me by asking me to do a review of it. And it's really fabulous. So today, we asked her, anytime you could come back, we'd love for you to do a workshop on the topic of self-love, which is what her book is all about. She says in her book that we have to have me love before we can have we love. And we all know that basic premise, right? That foundation. But today she's also brought Priscilla with her, who's going to do some artwork. And so it's really going to be a fabulous time from 2 to 4 this afternoon. So I just want to welcome Catherine back and encourage you all to join her in the community room at 2 o'clock. Thanks. Oh, and one other, I just want to tag one more thing, Dave. The Jerry workshop, some of you, I should have brought the flyer and I just put them out. The Gender Equity Reconciliation International workshop is still on. We've got facilitators coming in literally from around the world on September 11th through the 14th for this world-class work on the integration of masculine and feminine within, healing the gender wounds of male and female, including all genders in the process. So we've got a great group already signed up. If you're interested, I think you save money if you register today. They extended that date. And there's a flyer out on the welcome table, and you can just use the QR code and register directly that way. So I hope you'll consider joining us. I am intending to be there for that full weekend as well. So, blessings.
Are you new to Unity or returning after a long absence or waiting to welcome people who are new to Unity? Join us Sunday, September 7th at 1 o'clock in the afternoon in the community room for our New to Unity welcome. Enjoy light snacks as you make new friends and learn about Unity.
And would you like to learn more about Unity beliefs, principles, and history? Then join Reverend Kristen for a Unity Basics class starting Tuesday, September the 9th at 7 p.m. This class will be held in the sanctuary and open to everyone. All 3 sessions are required to become a member of Unity.
Be still and know with Reverend Kristen and Unity Prayer Chaplains on Unity's 32nd Annual World Day of Prayer on Wednesday, September the 10th at 6:30 p.m. Immerse yourself in the cacophony of simultaneous affirmation and prayer, which leads into a sound bath shower by Cindy Tarahi, and I apologize if I apologize for mispronouncing it, but her bowls are absolutely magical. If you get a chance, don't miss this. We will continue in a sacred ceremony on the labyrinth as our collective prayers dissolve into water and live on in Unity's rose garden. Continue the peaceful energy flow with Reiki Healing Circle at 7:30 in the community room. What a great night. It sounds like something we should all try to attend.
Now, as we prepare for our meditation, please join me in taking a conscious breath together. And now affirming our statement of faith. Together, there is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God. We begin with music, followed by guiding meditation and silence.
I am fearless in the fog. I am fearless in the fog. I am fearless in the fog of life. For I am light. I am, and so I shine. I invite you to breathe into that wisdom center in our bodies and the solar plexus. Here we find the power of wisdom signified by the light. This is that place in our bodies where we also may feel fear or anxiety, all coexisting right here. Our human concerns and our divine power of wisdom. And so as we breathe into this space, we open up our fearlessness in both the fog that comes and the divine flow that is available. Every breath an opportunity to move through
anything in your life where you might feel some anxiety or fear right now, or concern. Let that concern arise in the bright light, in the sunshine of the solar plexus. Breathing into it, let it yourself open up the issue, if there is one. Putting it out in the bright light. With the power of breath and divine light, with the wisdom activated in this space, we will know exactly what to do, how to move with this situation or feeling in our lives. Breathing in and breathing out, giving over to the divine light of wisdom. Receiving that guidance now or at another time. We just let go of it all and breathe freely and fearlessly into the light, deep in the sanctuary of our own bodies, feeling the expansion and contraction of your belly with every breath, brightening and lightening your path in the silence. Breathing into your belly once again, that solar plexus area. I invite you, if you wish, to put a left hand on that area of your body. Breathe in without fear, and a right hand on your heart with love. Breathing in without fear. Breathing out with love. One more time. Breathing in without fear. Breathing out with love. And so it is.
We're leaving all the windows open. We don't even mind the rain, or where we let the floors get wet. So what if the hardwood stains? 'Cause we're collecting evidence of one remarkable storm. How wild it was to find it, finally feel the climate, instead of always staying dry and warm. Rain on us, saint, honesty. In the morning, but now what we need is a little rain on our face from you, Saint Honesty. So we won't sleep tonight while we brace against the wind. Oh, these hearts, they're weather makers. We'll go where they take us until we find ourselves shelter again. And we won't settle for the silence. Oh no, no, no. We won't drown in the tears. We'll say every single word, even if we think they'll hurt. Let the rain wash away these tears. Rain on us, saint honesty. Salvation is coming in the morning, but now Here's a little rain on our face from you, sweet Saint Honesty. Oh, we won't let go. We'll get soaked to the bone, baptized by truth. We will reap what we sow, build our own higher ground when the rain's coming down. This is worth it to me, Saint Honesty. Rain. Salvation, it's coming in the morning. Wait patiently, aiming straight for it. But now what we need is a little rain on our face from you, sweet Saint Honesty.
Wowee. That's what you call owning that song. Thank you, Lisa. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, those online and outside. I love that we have 3 audiences, all one, right? So she's a saint who doesn't have a feast day. She doesn't wear a halo. You won't find relics of her body parts in museums that have been there for hundreds of years. You won't find her etched on the stained glass in the beautiful cathedrals of the world, because she walks with us in our hearts, in our relationships, and our lives. Can you guess what her name is? Saint Honesty. You guys are good. You're ready for the riddle fest, if there is such a thing. So that is the title of the song that Lisa just sang, that Sarah Bareilles sings and co-wrote. Saint Honesty calls us into freedom. Honesty baptizes us in truth. Honesty deepens our connections and helps us align with the divine nature, the truth of who we are. So when we treat honesty as a spiritual presence, when we invite her in as a holy companion, we really imbue the idea of truth and honesty beyond the idea of just it being a moral or ethical idea, to be a good person, to be honest, to not cheat others, etc. There's so much more to this idea. And so I want to invite you to invite Saint Honesty to be your holy companion, at least for this morning, if not for the rest of your lives. A child once asked their grandfather, "Grandpa, what's the secret to peace?" And the grandpa said, "When your thoughts and your actions and your words are all the same, then you're at peace." So true, isn't it? When all these things line up, another word for honesty, another kind of honesty, integrity, right? The integrity of that flow. And that's Saint Honesty at work in us, when those things all come together. You know, over the summer, we've talked about right thought, and we've talked about right action as a part of our 5 Basic Principles series. But I'd be remiss to not bring into that, particularly that co-creative 3rd principle, right speech. Because the word itself is creative. We think of something, or a divine thought comes to us and through us, maybe in a vision or in a meditation. And what allows it to be manifest in the world is that you bring it in, right? And you speak it. You put clothes on that idea. You move it into the manifest world with the power of the word. John speaks about this really powerfully. He says the word itself is what creates, and there's a becoming of the word itself, the manifestation of the word itself. When he opens the book of John with, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word became flesh." And so it's this idea that as we talk today about words, we're talking not just about words. I'm using words to talk about words, but they're not just words, right? That we're talking about specifically truth, specifically honesty, the kinds of words that put us in the lane of truth. And those can be the emotional truth, right? The truth of how I feel, the truth of my human expression, the truth of my human experience, how I'm feeling right now, what I'm needing right now. That kind of, I'll call it small t truth. And it can also be factual truth in the world, right? So we have fact checks all the time on the media. When politicians are speaking, there'll be fact checks sometimes, I should say all the time. Maybe more often would be helpful. But anyway, that's another thing for another day. But there's factual truth. There are things that can be scientifically proven or can be proven otherwise in various ways, right? And then there's the spiritual truth. Then there's that truth that really ultimately sets us free, because it opens us up to who we really are at the base of us and grounds us in that all-loving presence. So you could say honesty sometimes can feel pretty risky. Do you ever feel that way about being honest? Oh, yeah, there's a lot of oohs in the room. I don't know if you all heard that online. Because it makes us feel vulnerable sometimes, or uncomfortable, or can be in times of maybe some conflict or dissonance of some kind, whether it's within or without. There is that sense of, I have to take a risk here to be really honest with myself or with the other person. But that specific word that John spoke of in this idea of creation, that the word became flesh, that word was Jesus that he was speaking of. And we know those enduring words of Jesus, the truth shall set you free. The truth on every level and every layer will set you free. He didn't say all that, but he was speaking probably mostly of spiritual truth, of divine truth. But I think, Jesus was a really real guy. He was really, he was in the world too. He always told us he wasn't of it, but he reminded us he was in it. And so too are we, right? In the body, in the experience, in the relationship. So there are times we just have to be in that human aspect of telling the truth as well. That song we heard just now speaks of honesty as a cleansing rain. I love that metaphor, because that is what it feels like when we've sort of unburdened our heart, right? And connected perhaps with another, or just felt that sense of the rain cleansing and purifying and renewing us in some way. And what happens, and let's go all in for a moment, what happens if we're in the rainstorm of honesty, right? Or a rainstorm. Let's just go with a rainstorm. What we tend to do as children will play in a rainstorm, right? They love the puddles and the rain and the experience. They'll drink the rain. They'll open their mouths and dance in the rain. Maybe you do all those things too. But you also might be one of those people that, what we first tend to do is kind of hunker down, right? Look for shelter, get under a tree, find an overhang. We want to get out of the storm. We want to, preserve our dignity, keep our clothes dry, keep our hair together, whatever it is that we think is going on there. But when you let yourself go if you've ever done that in a rainstorm, if you've ever danced in a rainstorm or really let yourself experience it, suddenly we give over to a more authentic experience of more playful, more childlike, more fun, right? More joyful. And then there is that experience, perhaps laughter that comes with that as well. So that metaphor really gives us that sense of, risky at first sometimes, truth-telling, honesty is, and yet it can open us, it can free us in such a way that joy then has room to move in our lives and in our hearts. Just as rain brings life to earth, truth brings life to the soul. Honesty or truth brings life to the soul. And when we allow ourselves to be drenched in rain, drenched in truth, we are refreshed, renewed, reborn. All of these things can happen. Honesty clears away illusion, and it awakens us to who we are. So that inner voice of Saint Honesty is always speaking to us, and it might say something like, "You're not going to melt." Maybe it will even be a joyful experience. So stop resisting and let the truth wash over you. Let the truth move through you. Let it be said. Sarah Bareilles sings, "Baptized by truth, we will reap what we sow. Build our own higher ground when the rain's coming down." I invite you just to close your eyes for a minute, and I'm going to say that again, and just really take it in for yourself. Baptized by truth, I will reap what I sow. Build my own higher ground when the rain's coming down. Where do you need higher ground in your life right now? And where would you like to invite the rain of honesty? Or maybe you feel the rain of honesty wants to come in and heal and cleanse and renew you and nourish you. There's an old Indian from the country of India folklore story called The Cracked Pot. And the story is about a water bearer who has 2 earthen pots that she carries on a long pole to the river every morning to refill them for the day's water. And it's kind of a long journey, so it's a big deal to take this journey every day. It's a big part of her work and experience and contribution to her home. And there's that one of the pots is fully whole and always comes back full. And the other pot usually comes back half full because it's cracked on the side. Now that little cracked pot over the years starts to tell itself a story about how it's not really living up to the measure of its worth, that it's not really on purpose, that it's not giving to the kind and wise water bearer what she needs, and that this long, arduous journey that she takes every day, that it's causing her more work. And the little cracked pot is thinking maybe she should just replace it as much as it doesn't want to be replaced. And so as it tells itself the story over and over again, the pain and the shame begins to increase until one day it finally cannot keep it in anymore. And when they're sitting by the river and the water bearer is refilling the pots, the cracked pot finds its voice at last. At first the voice is weak, but then it begins to speak a little louder. And it says to the water bearer, "If you want to replace me, I would understand. I'm really sorry. All these years you've been coming all the way down to the river, and then you come all the way back, and I'm only giving you half the water. And the other pot is perfect and whole. I'm nothing like that other pot." The water bearer listened with compassion and surprise, because she didn't feel that way about the cracked pot at all. So she said to the cracked pot, "On our journey back home, I want you to do something. I want you to look up and then look off to the side and notice all the beauty you've brought into my life." The cracked pot was confused but decided to heed the words of the water bearer. So when she hoisted the long stick with the 2 earthen pots on her shoulders and began the journey home, the crackpot heeded it and looked up and over. And to the crackpot's great surprise, there was a resplendent garden of wildflowers all along the path, in that very line where the crack was on the side of the pot. You see, that water bearer in her wisdom had thrown out some wildflower seeds along that pathway, knowing that the cracked pot was going to lose water along the way. What's really instructive, well, there are lots of things about this story, of course, but one of the things that I really notice is the big shift that occurs in the story for the cracked pot is when the cracked pot finds its voice and speaks its truth and is honest about how it feels and what its concerns are. Have you ever been like that cracked pot, carrying around something in shame and secrecy and telling yourself a story and digging in on that story, and then one day somebody kind and loving hears you, and suddenly it's out in the light. I heard somebody audibly sigh a moment ago. And what does it do for us, right? It lightens us, it brightens us, it frees us. It allows us to see where we might have been mistaken all this time, where there might have been faulty thought, a false idea, a limited idea about ourselves suddenly illuminated. It's not even true. Wow. And so that is the invitation for us to open ourselves to where we are holding things in that really need to be spoken. Where do you feel that push? Maybe you've even gotten to the point where you feel the pain of holding something in. Aeneas Nin talked about that. When the bud gets, the bud that is about to bloom gets so tight and there's so much pressure in that bud, that's when you have to speak, right? So it can bloom. You have to allow the blossoming to occur. And so for you, there may be that point happening right now in your life, or perhaps it has happened to you before. Bringing our perspective and wounds into the light by speaking them aloud does so much for ourselves, our relationships, and it opens us to spirit. It opens us to divine light and to divine love and to be that channel and to get into that sink of integrity that Grandfather's wisdom talked about. Thoughts and words and actions. Somebody said to me between services, an honest person doesn't have to remember as much. It's so true, isn't it? You're unburdened by all that stuff. Oh, that's right. Wait, I put that mask on when I'm with this group, and I put this mask on when I'm over here. When I'm having that conversation with that person, I better put that big, thick mask on and the shield too, And it's like you got to remember all that. What if we just let it all down and lived in the truth, in the honesty? Took Saint Honesty as our holy inner companion and guide. Sarah, so the small T truth and the big T truth are always kind of in interaction with one another, The small T meaning the things that we feel or that we think that we just really need to unburden our hearts with, and they might not even be true, like the cracked pot, but it's just we need to talk about what's going on for us? What are we feeling? What are we perceiving? And that opens the way to the big T truth, right? The divine truth. It's like an excavation of the truer self that occurs from our self-inquiry and from our sharing with one another. And similarly, on the other end, when we affirm and bless and we hold ourselves in the principle of that big T truth, of that divine truth, when we stand firm in those places of principle and we say, I know these truths, I know I am divine, I know I'm here to shine light and to be love, and I know this about the people around me, and I feel the joy of that. When we begin to speak and rain and shower ourselves with that kind of prayer, then it also helps us with those other small T truths because we feel better and we think more clearly in this kind of alignment. So it's always this, humanity-divinity dance that's going on, heart and soul dance that is happening in us and through us and as us and in our relationships. There is a difference between brutal honesty and sacred honesty. And I think it's important to make that distinction, right? You all laugh because you've been there, right? Probably on both sides, often on both sides of these equations. Sacred honesty liberates us. Brutal honesty can wound, right? And so usually not our intention, but it can have that impact. Years ago, I went to a workshop that was circulating around or had started to circulate around called Radical Honesty. Anybody ever hear that? Oh, a couple of people have heard of it. Okay. So when I went, it was all about, the way that it was presented was, it was all about just put it all out there. Like just say what be real, be authentic, say what you need to say, and then you just stay to do the cleanup work, to, stick around to be with that person through the feelings, through the woundedness, So I thought this was a game changer. And I went home and told my partner at the time, I said, oh, this workshop was fantastic. Told her all about it, and I said, do you want to practice it? She said, all right. I said, you want to practice it now? She said, all right. I was like a puppy. I was so excited. You know how it is when you get turned on to something new spiritually, and you get kind of like that? So she goes, you go first. So I started in. I don't know if it was 30 seconds or a minute in, she put her hand up. And she said, never mind, I don't want to practice radical honesty. So I was pretty green at the practice, so I imagine, it wasn't really delivered very skillfully. And I'm surprised some of you knew the workshop because I never heard of it ever again. I thought maybe it just went away because it just was... People were like, yeah, no. It was a good idea, but, in reality. So really what we're talking about is speaking the truth in love, right? Ephesians 4:15 says, speak the truth in love and you will grow in Christ. Speak the truth in love and you will grow in Christ. And we know that, we understand that to mean grow in the Christ consciousness. Grow in your divine nature by speaking the truth in love. Well, we're not always super skillful, right? It does take practice. It is going to be clunky. It will sometimes take risk and vulnerability, and we aren't going to always do it perfectly. We could be like the cracked pot, though, right? We're watering seeds, and over time, those seeds turn into a beautiful garden. So being honest with ourselves and being honest with each other and recognizing that this is a practice. I'm in practice here, and I want to practice with you. Would you be willing to practice with me? Know that, all that up front might be helpful, right? Know that I might say something, and, it might sound hurtful, and that is certainly not what I'm trying to do here. What I'm trying to do, what I want to do, what I invite us into is more intimacy, more closeness, more depth in our relationship, more flow in our sharing. And if somebody else is up for that, and they kind of understand that we're both going to be a little clunky, there's a willingness maybe to share at that level. I wish I would have known then to set all that up, but hindsight's 20/20, as they say, right? So there are three key ways, or there are probably many ways, but I'm just going to highlight three key ways that we've kind of alluded to throughout this time together of how we can work with and walk with Saint Honesty and invite Saint Honesty into our lives and to be our guide. So the first is to be honest with yourself. To notice where your inner truth and your external truth don't seem to be matching up. And where you notice that mismatch, that dissonant feeling, that sense of contrast, there could be a little work to do. So just inquiring within yourself, what is true? What is true for me? What is the honest truth for me? And beginning to clean that up inside helps free up your heart and allow you to see the path more clearly. Also, going forward, keep your promises to yourself. So often we say, I'm going to, do that later that I love to do, or I'm going to take care of myself later after I take care of all my family members in my workplace. And, but later never comes, right? Unless we prioritize that self-love, right, Catherine? We're all about it this afternoon. So it's that, right? To be good to ourselves, to create that kind of priority in our lives. To be honest with others is the second way. Of course, we've talked a lot about that today. To speak the truth in love and set aside, if we can, as much as we can, those ego masks so that our hearts can be revealed. That's the key, right? To be able to set that aside and let our hearts be revealed. A very different way of really having the truth flow through us much more easily and effortlessly. And when it feels risky, remember Sarah's song where she says, stay in the honest conversation, essentially. She says, oh, we won't let go. We'll be soaked to the bone. This is worth it to me, saying honesty. And so it's that commitment. It's worth it to me, even though it may be hard, to stay the course of truth because of all that will open for me and free up and clarify and deepen for me in my life. Honesty can be a thunderstorm that clears the decks, or it can be a soft rain that replenishes and renews and brings a sense of rebirth and quenches that inner thirst, whatever that inner thirst is, for connection, for intimacy, for understanding, for guidance. It can be endless, for love, and so on. Elder Hazel Dixon is a storyteller with the Ojibwe and Mohawk traditions, and she says it's the highest honor to say about somebody that there walks an honest person. They can be trusted. And then she says, that honest person who has nothing to hide and nothing to be ashamed of, that honest person, they say, has a spirit like a sabi. A sabi is like a Bigfoot or a Sasquatch. So it's like that giant spirit, right? And so when we clean things up, and allow ourselves to be really honest with ourselves and with each other, that's the kind of spirit that we are inviting in. Not that you necessarily want to be a sabi or a Bigfoot or a Sasquatch, but you want probably to let that truth of that magnificent truth of who you are, that bigness of who you are in truth, that divine Christ self, to be the one that is walking, the one that is moving about the world, the one that is relating in the world. Yes? Yeah. So then finally being honest with spirit, and of course spirit is us, but we also have this sort of relational perspective too. And so when we pray, that we let that be an honest expression of whatever is true for us. The psalmists have this down really well, crying out in frustration, oh, how long must I wait, O Lord, or wailing in grief, or rejoicing in gratitude. It's all there, the human experience. In Lamentations, pour out your heart like water in the presence. Pour out your heart like water in the presence. This actually gives us the practice, right? Is we pour out our hearts to ourselves, in our journals, in nature, to our spirit, as we let ourselves lament, or whatever we want to say that is present for us, words of truth as well that are affirmative and blessing words, and whatever that is true for us, letting it flow clears the path, allows everything to flow more easily. Our heart-centered truth-telling leads to greater spiritual understanding, leads to a greater experience of the spirit of who we are, leads us to become Saint Honesty herself. So I want to invite us into a prayer to close. If you wish to close your eyes, feel free, or however you're comfortable. So let's open our hearts to the holy presence that holy presence that we are a part of, the Holy Spirit, the whole spirit of love, whatever you want to call it, the divine presence, the Christ consciousness. We open to that truth. We let it rain down upon us. Invite it to cleanse whatever might stand in our way. Wherever there is fear or uncertainty or shame or whatever keeps us from speaking the truth. We let her wash away our masks, our fears, our pretenses, and let ourselves stand soaked in the rain and the divine light and love, standing naked, letting that water rush down upon us, those words of truth rise up from within us, from deep within our hearts, to free ourselves, to open our path, to allow ourselves to be in relationship that doesn't require us to remember so much, but to just be fully present, baptized by truth. We ask Saint Honesty, bring it on, guide us, walk with us, come into our hearts and allow us to be the very embodiment of honesty, of truth-telling, of truth living, of standing on the truth, of being that truth, of taking a stand for truth, of speaking our hearts and our minds, of allowing the divine to speak through us, to bring forth the ideas of honesty and authenticity and realness that is who we are as human beings, and marry it with the truth of the transcendent knowing of who we are. We are divine light, we are divine love, we are joy, we are the very embodiment of love on earth as truth. A long time ago, in the very beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, with your source, and the Word was made flesh, and it is you. It is you who has come to earth as that flesh, as that entity, as that embodiment, as that walking, moving, knowing, thinking, feeling being that is grounded in honesty and in truth, and is making a commitment today to be more honest, to be more clear, to be more connected, to be more free through the right speech, through the Word that created you from the very beginning and lives on through you as you co-create in truth. Let it be so. Thank you, Spirit. We invite forward that truth through these affirmations. Saint Honesty is my holy companion. I speak the cleansing rain of truth in all my relations. I am free, clear, and deeply connected. Let's say these affirmations together. Saint Honesty is my holy companion. I speak the cleansing rain of truth in all my relations. I am free, clear, and deeply connected. And so it is.
I love that idea, and I hope you take it home with you, the idea, let it be said of me, there goes an honest person. So say that with me. Let it be said of me, there goes an honest person. Thank you so much, Kristen. Thank you.
Our prayer chaplains are available after the service to provide personal prayer support. If you're a prayer chaplain today serving, please stand. Our prayer chaplains wear the beautiful purple stoles. Whether you have a joy or a concern in your heart today, praying with our prayer chaplains is a powerful opportunity to have your intentions raised up in consciousness.
And now let's open our hearts to the practice of giving. Yes. I invite you to prepare your gifts as we align with a universal law of circulation, which is, as we give, we shall receive. In truth, there's no lack or limitation. Abundance is our true nature.
And for your convenience, there are a variety of ways to financially give to this community, shown on the screen in front of you. For those of you watching online, there's a donate button on the Watch Live page. We encourage everyone to set up a regular and automatic giving to Unity using your bank's free bill pay service. It's so much easier.
Now I invite you to take your tithes and your love offering in your hand and repeat our affirmation with me. Together, divine love, one with me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am joy-filled and grateful. Thank you for being here today.
Yes, and may I say a quick thing? Thank you so much. I could really feel your love and support today because it was a little scary, but but I love being a service to this community. And again, I could really feel your support. Thank you.
That's great. Weapon or a drug. You can be the outcast or be the backlash of somebody's lack of love. Or you can start speaking up. Nothing's gonna hurt you the way the words do when they settle neath your skin. Kept on the inside and no sunlight, sometimes a shadow wins. But I wonder what would happen if you say what you wanna say and let the words fall out. Honestly, I wanna see you be brave with what you wanna say and let the words fall
Thank you, Lisa and Zoe. Beautiful, and band. Really fabulous.
Yes, our fantastic band supporting us so beautifully.
Yeah. You know, this is always a good thing for us to bring into the container of community and say, let's experiment. Let's practice with each other. Suddenly it feels risky again, right? Let's be brave. Because that's how we grow as a community, right? So when you hear somebody in the community gossiping or, you know, whatever it is that doesn't feel good to you, maybe just, you know, I think we could, let's regroup a little bit and talk about our principles, because what would feel really good to me is if we were building each other up, if we were speaking the truth about one another, if we were, you know, and then honestly sharing when we have an issue in a kind way and working together, you know. So I just want to put that out there. Like, let's be that community. Let's be that community that has invited Saint Honesty to truly be our companion and clear up any stuff, so that Spirit can flow freely and deeply here. Yes? All right. Well, let's bless this goodness and give thanks. We'll bless the men in advance for their delicious meal together, and know that that communion time is really important as well. And we bless these gifts, knowing that the abundant good continues to flow through our lives as we really solidly walk in truth. Let's bless it together. We give thanks for the ever-increasing, constant flow of absolute good in our lives now. So it is.
All right, bring in the children. We are a circle of love. We are a circle of light. Come join the circle of love. Come join the circle of light. The light in you and the light in me are one. The light in you and the light in me are one.
Yay! Happy Sunday, everyone. Oh, we had a lot of fun today. We were talking about goodness. Goodness. God is good. And so are we. Yeah, we're good. We're also helpful, and we're kind, and we're loving. We're all those things. But those are just other things that we do. We are good. We're good, right? Evie, you want to tell them more about what we did today?
Today we colored an 3D tree with an owl inside. Oh, and we played a game where you lay down on the carpet and people put down leaves and say nice things about you.
Uniteens, what did we do today?
So we got papers and we wrote down questions that like everybody answered. One of the questions was like, what's your dream job? And everybody answered. And then we read a story that the lesson was to believe in yourself.
Beautiful.
That was it. It was fun.
Sounds like a great Sunday. Well, let's bless our teachers, our youth, and our children all together. Children, youth, and teachers, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divine light within you.
All right, please rise in body or in spirit for our closing song. We're doing I Choose Love. Peace in my life is growing because I choose love.
are the honesty, the truth, and the bravery on earth right now. So let your light shine. Have fun and spread joy.